Over 5,000 smart card readers are said to have been destroyed in the fire that engulfed the head office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Akure on Thursday. Confirming this on Friday, the resident electoral commissioner of INEC in the States, Ambassador Rufus Akeju, told newsmen that the inferno started at about 7:30 p.m. after the office had been closed for the day. According to him, 5,141 smart card readers were destroyed in that fire. Mr. Akeju stressed that things could have been worse, though INEC says that it will go ahead with the elections despite the challenge. We will be speaking to Festus Okoye. He's the INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education in the heart of Ondo, where the elections will be held on the 10th of October. Data feeds are coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can follow us on Android, Apple, Fire and Roku TV as well. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV. Use the hashtag State of the Nation. Starts now. Welcome everyone to State of the Nation. I am Gimba Umar. Concerns are being raised on the preparedness of INEC to successfully conduct the Edo and Ondo state elections just by the corner. While that of Edo is set according to the umpire, Ondo is faced with a bit of a challenge, depending on what side of the divide you stay. Barrister Festus Okoye is the INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education. He joins us via Skype from Ondo. I want to thank you so much indeed for making out time in your busy schedule to be with us on State of the Nation. Let's focus on Ondo to begin with. How prepared are you as the umpire for this election?
Well, the commission is prepared. As you will recall, on the 6th day of February 2020, we released our timetable and schedule of activities for both the Edo and Ondo governorship elections. And then for Ondo State, out of the 14 items on that particular calendar, we have already implemented 10. So the only activities remaining are for us to issue the formal notice of poll, for political parties to submit the names of their polling agents, for campaigns to end, and for the elections itself to take place. So we are proceeding assiduously with our timetable and schedule of activities. And I believe that we are on course and we are prepared for this election.
Just yesterday, unfortunately, we had this situation in Ondo that's concerning that fire outbreak. What is the commission doing? What have you done despite that fire outbreak such that the elections in Ondo doesn't become a problem for you?
Well, it will not be a problem because this fire started around 7:30 p.m. yesterday, and I got to the office around 8 o'clock, and then the officers from the various fire service were able to put off the fire around 12 midnight. Now, as you are already aware, we lost a total of 5,141 smart card readers meant for this particular election. A total of 4,141 of those smart card readers belongs to the Ondo State Office, while they took 1,000 smart card readers from their Osun counterparts for the purposes of training of supervisory presiding officers and other officers that will be engaged in the conduct of this election. Now, this is what we call an off-season election. It's an end-of-tenure election. And we have just these two big elections in Edo and Ondo states. So the implication is that, yes, we are very, very sad that we lost such a large number of smart card readers. But we can just take smart card readers from one of the states that has no election and then proceed with the election. So we don't have any challenge whatsoever. And this particular election will go on. We are confident that we are prepared and this election will go on.
But how do you explain a scenario where fire raised over 5,000 card readers, which you just mentioned, those reader machines, just 30 days to the governorship elections? What happened?
Well, we are not really in a position to speculate as to what exactly happened. We are going to rely on the experts to do the assessment and do the investigation and give us a report. We had the fire service from the Ondo Fire Service. We had those from the Akure Airport, and also we had the fire service from Ilesha. All of them battled yesterday and succeeded in putting out the fire. And the Nigerian Police Force were also there. So we are going to rely on them to do their investigation and give us at least a preliminary report for us to have a sense of exactly what happened, because losing 5,141 smart card readers is not a joke. It's a huge loss to the commission, because it takes at least 6 months to procure a single smart card reader. So we are very, very unhappy relating to this particular incident.
So the security authorities down, they're not telling you anything about the fire, but let's put that on the one side. What's the plan now to ensure that you checkmate any bottlenecks? Card readers, for example, we've seen them in past elections fail. What's the plan for you?
Well, we have already made a report to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission relating to this particular incident. And we are going to meet as a commission and really take a position on how to safeguard our smart card readers from this type of challenge. Because the smart card reader is one of the biggest introductions into the electoral process that guarantees some level of transparency in the accreditation process. And so it's a very, very robust instrument for us. And we cannot afford a situation where we will continue to lose our smart card readers to fire and other disasters. And so we are going to take a comprehensive look at the issue of the storage of our smart card readers, the security of our smart card readers, and the safety of our smart card readers. And I believe that we are going to design measures to protect our smart card readers and other critical assets from some of these hazards.
When you say you're going to design measures to protect the card readers, we do know that from the onset of elections, the previous elections that we've had, leading all the way back to the 2019 general elections, those card readers were specifically coded to cover some states. Isn't that going to be a challenge for you now that you have to move card readers from other states to Ondo to try to get these elections underway?
No, it's not going to be a problem. What we normally do is that after each election, when all the litigations are over, the smart card readers are purged. And after they are purged, if we have another election, they are configured to that particular election. So the smart card readers for Ondo State have not really been configured, because we normally configure them. We begin the configuration sometimes 2 weeks to the election. And I believe that we need just between 7 and 8 days to configure at least 5,000 smart card readers for this particular election. So it's not going to be a problem at all. We are on top of this situation, and this election will go on.
Now, the opposition, People's Democratic Party in that state, is alleging foul play, placing the blame on INEC. Is INEC saying that it does not have an internal mechanism to curtail fire outbreaks in her office? That's the question that the PDP is asking. Do you have an answer for them?
Well, my answer is that what people should do is that persons ought to go to the INEC office, first of all, to see what exactly is the problem. Because I read some reports in some national newspapers and also on the social media, persons saying that it was the entire INEC office that was gutted by fire. No, there is a particular container that was kept almost at the center of the premises, where we stored some of these card readers preparatory to the elections. It was only that particular container that was gutted by fire. And as I pointed out, I think it is too early to speculate as to the cause of this particular fire incident, because our officers were in the premises up to 6 p.m. Before they closed. And then this fire started in that particular container around 7:30 p.m. And I got to the office around 8 o'clock, and the men of the fire service were already there trying to contain the fire. So we are not going to speculate, and we are not going to join issues relating to what happened. Those who have the expertise are already conducting investigation, and when they give us a preliminary report, we will take a position as a commission relating to what happened.
So where is the security officers, people asking this question still, that if that container was kept safe in the premises, in your premises in Ondo, what then happened to the security details who were supposed to be protecting it?
No. It has nothing to do. You see, these market readers were kept in a container. The container has a lock, and that lock was securely locked. The container was securely locked, and that was really one of the reasons why the security, why the fire officers had a huge problem containing the fire, because it is a huge container, and they had difficulty opening the container in order to gain access and put out the fire. So for us, we don't want to speculate, as I pointed out, as to the reasons why that fire occurred. But you know, these market readers use battery, and they are, they use battery, and I don't want to really go into the details, but we understand that there's also a high likelihood that it may be an electrical challenge or it may be sabotage. We cannot speculate. So when we get this particular report, we will know what to do, and we'll know the cause of the incident.
It's interesting that you mentioned batteries and perhaps even electricity. What's the mode of storing those kind of containers when they come? Because this is not your first experience. How do you store them? Are they connected to electricity, for instance?
No, the containers are not connected to electricity, but because the smart card readers use battery, sometimes we put air conditioning within the containers in order to cool down the smart card readers, and then some of these smart card readers are being charged when they are fully charged and fully configured for purposes of the training. Some of them are moved back into the container. So as at now, we really don't know what exactly happened. I spoke with the HOD in charge of ICT, and he told me that the container was securely locked, and that they really cannot explain what exactly led to the fire incident.
Do you not fear, for instance, because people are really complaining about this incident that happened yesterday, just about a month to the elections in Ondo State on the 10th of October, to be precise. They say that the happening of this could compromise a lot of things. If you were to be talking to people who share that kinds of thoughts in their minds, what would you be telling them to reassure them that these elections will not be marred, but will be made despite the challenges that you face?
Well, you see, the issue is that if this challenge had occurred a day to the election, then there will be panic, and then it may likely lead to a postponement. But the issue is that the smart card readers that are contained in that particular container are smart card readers that have been harvested for the purposes of the Ondo governorship election. They are not smart card readers that have already been configured for the purposes of this election. And as I pointed out, we need just between 7 and 8 days to reconfigure all the smart card readers. And we have sufficient smart card readers from the states neighboring Ondo State, from where we can harvest. In fact, the entire card readers in Oyo State can replace all the card readers that government in this in Ondo State. So we don't have any challenge whatsoever. And we are on top of this situation. This election will go on, and this particular incident, as unfortunate as it is, will not in any way affect the conduct of the election, and it has not dampened our spirit in relation to our preparations for this election.
That I believe is giving some level of comfort for a lot of people. But however, one part of these elections that doesn't give a lot of people that much comfort, if you will put it in that light, is the issue of the COVID-19 that has just destroyed a lot of daily fabric. Even the elections is being threatened by that. So run us through the process on election day. What will be the do's and don'ts, for instance, when you have to put COVID-19 and the efforts of the NCDC to try to see that we flatten the curve and even reduce as much as possible to the barest minimum the spread of COVID-19 during the elections?
Well, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission was with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 yesterday, and he laid out in great detail some of the processes and procedures we have put in place in order to align our processes to that of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. One of the things we are insisting on is that any voter that comes to the polling unit must wear a face mask or a face covering. And if you don't have a face mask or a face covering, you will not be allowed to vote. We also are in partnership with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, and they have given us sufficient number of infrared thermometers that we are going to use to check the temperature of potential voters who come to the polling units, and we are really grateful to them. Then we are also going to make sure that people observe physical distancing at the polling units. And based on this, we created a two-tier queuing system at the polling unit, an inner queue and an outer queue. One of our assistant presiding officers will be moving people, voters from the outer queue into the inner queue for the purposes of voting. And for our officials, we have made adequate arrangements and preparations to protect them. We are going to supply them with a face mask. We are going to give them hand sanitizers, and we are going to supply methylated spirit for this particular election. So we are on top of the situation, and we believe that if the voters cooperate and if the security agencies do their own part, we are going to have a good election, both in Edo and in Ondo states.
Okay, we'll go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look deeper into the issues of elections and how we can better them, not just in Nigeria, but across the continent. Join us again. Welcome back to State of the Nation. We're looking at the Ondo State elections as well as possibly Edo State elections that we're expecting will happen in a matter of days from now. The INEC National Commissioner in charge of information and voter education, Festus Okoye, is our guest, and we're talking to him from Ondo State, the heart of where the elections will be taking place on October the 10th. Mr. Okoye, this is what the former President Goodluck Jonathan said, that electronic voting is the only way we can achieve credible elections on the continent. Do you think that that is necessarily the case?
For me, one of the commitments we have made to the Nigerian people as a commission is that we are going to deepen the use of technology in our electoral process. And we are already doing that. You can see that all the political parties that conducted party primaries filed the lists and particulars of their nominated candidates electronically through a dedicated portal established by the Commission. Civil society groups and organizations have also done that. The media are also going to do that, and they have done that in Edo State. We have also created what we call a result viewing portal, through which the results from the polling units will be uploaded into a central portal, and every persons who log in can view the results as they come in. So we are deepening the use of technology in the electoral process. We have also assured the Nigerian people that for the Anambra governorship elections that will take place in 2021, that we are going to introduce the electronic voting machine for that particular election. But one of the things we are doing as a commission is that we are the ones driving technology in the electoral process. We don't want to introduce technology into the process just for the purposes of introducing technology. One of the technological solutions we wanted to use in the Nasarawa Central State constituency election, in terms of using it as a secondary authentication, did not really perform well. So we withdrew it, and we've gone back to the drawing board in order to make sure that we enhance it and make it robust. So we are committed to the deepening of technology in the electoral process, but we do not believe that technology alone can solve the challenges of the electoral process in Nigeria. There is also the human element in the electoral process, and there is also the issue of the trust deficit in our electoral process. So there are some challenges that we will need to take on board for us to, yeah.
If I could come in, my apologies. Do you think that the lack of amendment of the Electoral Act is hampering the operations of the Commission?
No, the lack of amendments is not hampering the operations of the Commission. But if we secure some amendments to the constitutional and electoral framework, it will enhance the operations of the commission, and it will also give the commission the legal muscle and the legal backing to also introduce additional technology in the electoral process, and also introduce additional measures that will make it possible for us to have a robust electoral system that cannot be easily compromised.
What's your thoughts about vote buying? We saw that in Ondo State the last time, that in Osun State the last time the elections were held there. Are you able to wrap your fingers around that, or have you been able to tackle the root causes of vote buying during elections?
Well, vote buying has become a very, very serious problem in our electoral process. And like violence, we must break the cycle of vote buying. And one of the things we have done is to make sure that the EFCC and the ICPC and other security agencies are imputed into our Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, so that on election day they can also keep watch at the polling units to make sure that people do not come to compromise the votes at the polling units. But as a commission, we have also recalibrated the polling units to secure the secrecy of the vote, and we are still insisting that persons who go to vote should not go into the voting compartment with any form of a gadget or any form of camera that will show how they have voted. And we are going to enforce that strictly.
That's a good place to let it rest, sincerely. Thank you so much indeed, Festus Okoye, INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education, for bringing us up to speed on your state of preparedness as we head into elections, not just in Edo State, but Ondo State as well. Many thanks indeed for talking to us, and to you for being a part of the show. Many thanks indeed for watching. I'm Gimba Umar, and this is State of the Nation.